Welcome to Arkham Horror, a thematic co-op board game based on the works of H.P. Lovecraft, a 1920s author of weird tales. We will be playing with the Innsmouth expansion, which Innsmouth itself is based off the short story by H.P. Lovecraft called The Shadow over Innsmouth. It is a pleasant, very unpleasant actually, harbor town. And Arkham itself is also a fictional town in Massachusetts, not based off the Arkham Asylum Batman. Actually, they took it from H.P. Lovecraft. Um, Innsmouth itself is hostile to investigators, as the town is basically run by hybrids, human inbreeding with the Deep Ones who are loyal to Mr. Cthulhu. And we will also be playing with Father Dagon and Mother Hydra. Joy. This game is primarily, it's sort of a RPG light game without a DM. I mean, you're mostly rolling skill checks, chucking dice. There's sort of a narrative that gets created by drawing encounter cards. The Mythos deck is pretty much the stand-in for the DM. It causes gates to other dimensions and horrible nightmare hellscapes to open up, and you have to explore these hostile environments. Lots of non-Euclidean architecture and Cylopean spaces, as they say. Innsmouth, besides the short story, there's also a video game called uh, Call of Cthulhu: Dark Corners of the World. It's actually kind of good. It takes almost entirely in Innsmouth. So if you played that, you have a good idea of what to expect there. Um, so going back to these bad guys, this is pretty much nightmare mode. I mean, you can't really get much harder than this, and I'm expected to go down in flames with this playthrough. So the Deep One Rising track is another track separate from the Doom track. If it fills up, the old one awakes. Versus also, and it's a lot shorter, and there's already 2 tokens on it, thanks to Mother Hydra and Father Dagon. Also, I have to draw 2 Mythos cards at the start of the game, thanks to plans set in motion. Also, thanks to um, the same thing, whenever the terror level rises, every investigator loses a clue token. If one person does not have a clue token, then we add a Doom token to the Doom track. Fun. And with the Lurking Whore, 1 extra monster appears when a monster surge occurs. And if an investigator is, let me see here, knocked unconscious, driven insane, or lost in time and space, or devoured, draw 1 monster and place it in the outskirts. So they accelerate the terror level, which feeds into the Doom track, and more monsters. And an extra Mythos card at the start of the game. Very, very nasty. On top of that, I am using the gate trophies, or the gates from Lurker at the Threshold, which have additional effects like this gate moves whenever a Mythos card with that symbol comes out. Split gate, choose your adventure. Let's see, if you fail to close it, you lose a stamina. If this gate opens on you, Doom track opens on you, you are devoured. And there's also a monster if you fail to close it, and lose sanity if you fail to close it. Nasty stuff, but we aren't messing around here. So, I think that brings us to our investigators. First, we have I've handpicked these. They're all from Innsmouth. So we have Solace Marsh, the sailor, Abel Seaman. He is a Marsh, which is a prominent family in Innsmouth itself because we have the Marsh refinery and they are tainted. So he has tainted blood since they are inbreeding with the deep ones. So whenever you have to draw an Innsmouth look card, which basically means you have deep one ancestry, he has to draw two. He's also an able seaman, though, so he'll be able to quickly move from aquatic locations, the river docks and Lonely Isle or Unvisited Isle, to Innsmouth locations like the Devil's Reef or Falcon Point. So, and we will need probably someone to be permanently in Innsmouth trying to prevent the Deep One Rising track from filling up because that's pretty much game over. If Cthulhu awakes, it's pretty much game over. Of course, everyone gets -1 stamina and -1 sanity because of Cthulhu. Dreams of Madness. While Cthulhu stirs in his slumber, investigators have their maximum sanity and maximum stamina reduced by 1. Dreams of Madness. So, some positives. Martial arts. +2 for every empty hand. He also has Blue Watcher of the Pyramid. Lose 2 stamina, discard, and close a gate without passing the check. And this game is all about closing gates. All open gates are closed. You win the game as long as you have gate trophies equal to the number of players, or 6 sealed gates. Let's see. I don't expect to win the final battle. Cavalry Saber, he starts with that. He's got the rifle and a makeup kit, which is good for Innsmouth because after 7 Doom tokens are placed on this track, martial law is called in Innsmouth, so you can get arrested. And being arrested in Innsmouth is very, very bad. So a makeup kit can prevent you from getting arrested. We're also using the relationship cards here. He's a collector, so when he collects one or more common or unique items, the other guy can draw a random one. Or, Norman Weathers is also the other collector. Next up, we have Trish Scarborough, the Spy. Her ability is Focus, all start to the left, and you can move 5 shifts over any combination. And you can spend stamina or sanity to increase it beyond 5. She has 2 unique items. Staff of the Feral, +3 combat check, exhaust to cast spells as if both your hands were free, really cool. Alien device, really cool, just +2. She also has the Indiana Jones weapons, revolver and bullwhip, and lucky cigarette case. +1 will, and friendly rivals with Silas Marsh. So, if either of them have more monster trophies or gate trophies, the other gets bonuses. Because they are friendly rivals. Bonuses, I think, to combat and closing gates. Yeah. Fight and lore when closing gates, and combat when fighting monsters. Next up, we have the OP, everyone's favorite, Patrice Hathaway, the violinist. Awesome. Inspiring. Anyone can use her clue tokens, and she gets a clue token every time a gate opens. And when 9 Doom tracks, or the 9th Doom token is placed on the Doom track, she gets 5. So she's a clue generator, and everyone can use her clues. So she will be instrumental, I think, in winning this, if I win it. I do not expect to win. She is business associates with Trish, which means if either of them gain money, the other gains $1. She has library use, which is basically a bless spell for lore checks. She has a book, a tome. Exhaust, spend 2 movement points to make a lore check, -2. If passed, draw 1 spell, gain 1 clue token, but lose 2 sanity and discard. Fail, nothing happens. This sword, +4, +5 of dual wielded, or two-handed, I should say. Greater banishment. So she can banish monsters of 1 symbol, and it's a one-time use. And safety deposit box. That's just a lucky roll to gain 1 unique and 2 glues. Next up, we have Norman Weathers, the Astronomer. His ability is similar to Greater Banishment in that if he closes a gate, he gets to choose the symbol other than Moon, and all those monsters go bye-bye, get sucked back into the other world, apparently. He has Marksman, reroll combat checks, and he's a Traveler with Patrice, so gain 1 movement with exhaust, which he'll need because he is slow, maximum of 3 speed. And he has the Golden Trumpet, prevent sanity loss, always good. Another makeup kit, very good. And Find Gate, awesome. He'll be our gate, our other world explorer for the most part with that Find Gate spell. Unless he can give it, he can probably give it to Patrice as well. Both of these guys are going to be spellcasters. And then he also has Storm of Spirits, which is exhaust +3 combat and use your lore instead of fight for combat, which is good because he has higher lore than combat. Well, that about covers the setup, which took maybe 40 minutes of me just laying all this stuff out. Oh yeah, we're also using the Sanity and Madness injury cards and pretty much all the cards from the expansions I own, which is Dunwich, Kingsport, King in Yellow, Innsmouth, and Vanilla, of course. So I don't expect to win this one, but I'll give it a whirl. See ya.